You ever feel like God took something or someone from you? Might have been a death in the family. I recently experienced that. My granny passed. And in that moment, it just didn't seem real. I was broken immediately. Lost for words, life no longer made sense. As I watched my granny pass, everything just kept moving. The nurses and the doctors just wrapped it up and just continued on with life. I looked over at my family members and I was wondering if they was feeling the way I was feeling, if they was hurt the way I was hurt, if they were seeing it from my lens. My granny was my baby, like it was my heart. And my heart was shattered, it was broken. And I wanted to blame God so bad because I just couldn't understand why. But then I started realizing all the things she told me, all the conversations that we had, all the wisdom, all the knowledge, all the gems she had dropped on me that I could carry for the rest of my life. And I knew all that wisdom, all them gems, all of that guidance that she gave me came from God. I had to ask myself, how can I be mad at God if he called her home, when he called her home, when my experience with her was another experience with him, a different form of an experience with him? Because what he put into her, she gave to me, she gave to this world. God was sharing with me through something he created. He gave me an opportunity to have an experience with his creation. But still in that moment, I wanted to ask why. I just couldn't understand. This was the first time I think I ever really experienced grief. Like I didn't want to accept that it was true. I didn't want to pray. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to read my scripture. I didn't want to listen to no sermons. I didn't want to do nothing. I wanted to feel everything that I was feeling. I wanted to remember my granny the way that I remember her. My last moments with her, I guess you could say it was traumatizing, but it was beautiful at the same time because when they told me my granny had a stroke, my only prayer was, let me make it there, which was a 10-hour drive so I can spend time with her before I get there. And even in that, God honored my prayer. I got to spend time with her. I got to tell her I love her. And then the funeral came. And when I did the funeral, it was almost like I could feel her presence. And she always used to tell me that she loved to hear me speak. So when I did her eulogy, I felt like I had an opportunity to honor her. And I know you probably wonder, why am I saying all this? Because in moments where we want to blame God, a lot of times we put it in its right perspective, that pain births a purpose. And her telling me she loved to hear me speak, I realized that God had been telling me that my entire life, that my gift was in my mouth. I love to read. I love to use my words a certain way. And so as I stood there, eulogizing my granny, the strength that I had, feeling like I knew it was because of her presence, it was still God blessing me, even when I wanted to blame him. Sometimes when you're trying to blame him, he's trying to get your attention and get you to see it from a different perspective. But the enemy want to pervert that and make you look at it a different way. Don't let your grief win. Don't let your hurt win. Don't let that doubt win. Don't let the fears win. Sometimes it's easier to just give in and just sit in it. But I promise you, the win is in standing up, following through. Because through that experience, the one thing that hit me the most was, we got one life to live. Literally, one life to live. I don't want to be attached to nothing that I know is not trying to move forward. Because if it's not moving forward, that's a form of it dying. Anything that's not growing is dying. I don't want to be attached to that. Any kind of negativity, any distraction, anything, I don't want to do it because I realize I got one life to live. I'll be 38 in December. 10 years of that in prison, 4 or 5 years of that in juvie, a couple of years of that growing up where, and at this point, it's just like, we got one. And I'm going to live it to the fullest. So whatever it is you're dealing with right now, whatever it is you're blaming God for, let's turn the negative to a positive. Because I promise you, it's purpose in your pain.